In a development that marks a poignant closure to one of the most infamous chapters in American legal history, the estate of O.J. Simpson has finally agreed to make a substantial payment to the family of Ron Goldman, the young waiter whose brutal murder alongside Nicole Brown Simpson in 1994 captivated and divided the nation. This settlement, amounting to nearly $58 million, comes more than 3 decades after the tragic events that unfolded in the affluent Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, where the double homicide not only shattered lives but also ignited debates on race, celebrity, domestic violence, and the justice system that continue to resonate today. The core of this agreement revolves around a creditor claim filed by Fred Goldman, Ron's father, who has spent years tirelessly pursuing what he believes is rightful compensation for the unimaginable loss of his son. The claim, approved by the estate's executor, Malcolm LaVergne, totals $57,997,858.12, with additional provisions for judgment interest on the approved sum. This figure represents a negotiated adjustment from Goldman's initial demand, which exceeded $117 million. That original amount was calculated based on the original 1997 civil wrongful death judgment of $33.5 million, augmented by accrued interest over the intervening years. LaVergne, in his official filing, acknowledged a potential inaccuracy in the interest computation but praised the effort as one conducted in good faith, committing to collaborate with Goldman to refine the exact amount for fairness and precision. This payout is not merely a financial transaction. It symbolizes a hard-won victory for a family that has endured relentless public scrutiny and emotional torment. Ron Goldman, remembered by those who knew him as a vibrant, kind-hearted, aspiring restaurateur with dreams far beyond his 25 years, was described by his father as the light of their lives. The murders occurred on June 12, 1994, when Ron had gone to Nicole's condominium to return her mother's eyeglasses, unwittingly stepping into a scene of unimaginable violence. The discovery of their bodies the next morning, Nicole nearly decapitated and Ron stabbed multiple times in a desperate struggle, sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and beyond. O.J. Simpson, the Heisman Trophy-winning running back turned actor and Hertz pitchman, quickly became the prime suspect, leading to a slow-speed Bronco chase viewed by millions and a criminal trial that lasted 11 months and cost upwards of $20 million. Acquitted in the criminal trial on October 3, 1995, a verdict that sparked celebrations in some black communities as a rebuke to systemic racism but outrage in others, the saga didn't end there. The Goldman and Brown families pursued a civil suit, where the burden of proof was lower, preponderance of evidence rather than beyond reasonable doubt. In 1997, a Santa Monica jury found Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths, awarding $8.5 million in compensatory damages to the Browns and $25 million in punitive damages, split between both families. Yet, during Simpson's lifetime, collection proved elusive. Simpson, whose NFL earnings and endorsements once made him a multimillionaire, declared bankruptcy in 1999 and lived modestly in Florida and later Nevada, often claiming poverty while accruing other debts. He maintained his innocence until his death from prostate cancer on April 10, 2024, at age 76, leaving behind an estate estimated at around $250,000, far short of the mounting judgments. LaVergne's role as executor has been both challenging and controversial. Tasked with liquidating assets to settle debts, he has overseen the auction of personal items that offer glimpses into Simpson's complex life. Among them is a Bible presented to him by Robert Kardashian Sr., the late attorney and father of Kim Kardashian, who famously wore a leather-bound portfolio of apparent blood evidence during the trial. Other items include sports memorabilia, artwork and clothing with proceeds funneled toward creditors. LaVergne has prioritized federal obligations, including a $636,945 claim from the Internal Revenue Service and the state of California, underscoring the estate's limited resources. The auction process, conducted through platforms like Sotheby's, has drawn morbid fascination, with bidders acquiring relics from a man whose life story reads like a Greek tragedy, glory on the gridiron, infamy in the courtroom, and a lingering shadow of unresolved grief. The Goldmans' persistence is a testament to their unyielding quest for accountability. Fred Goldman, now in his 80s, has long viewed the civil judgment as a moral vindication, even if the criminal acquittal left a void. In interviews over the years, he has spoken of Ron not just as a victim but as a son whose potential was snuffed out, a University of Illinois graduate who volunteered with the homeless, played tennis competitively, and dreamed of opening his own restaurant. The family's legal efforts included garnishing Simpson's pension, deemed untouchable until a 2006 law change, and pursuing book royalties from If I Did It, a hypothetical confession that became a bestseller. Yet, payments trickled in sporadically, perhaps $500,000 total, leaving the balance to balloon with interest. LaVergne's approval of the claim marks a reversal from his earlier stance. Shortly after Simpson's death, he publicly declared his hope that the Goldmans receive nothing, a comment rooted in frustration over the estate's burdens and perhaps Simpson's own bitterness toward the families. He later retracted, calling it harsh, and emphasizing his duty as executor to act impartially. This shift highlights the ethical tightrope of estate management in high-profile cases, where personal loyalties clash with fiduciary responsibilities. Legal experts note that such settlements often involve compromises to avoid protracted litigation, especially when assets are finite. The broader implications of this payout ripple through discussions of justice and restitution. For victims' families, civil judgments offer a measure of recourse when criminal systems falter, but enforcement remains a labyrinth. In Simpson's case, the murders exposed fault lines in American society, allegations of spousal abuse, Nicole had called 911 8 times, racial tensions exacerbated by the LAPD's history, the Rodney King riots were fresh, and media sensationalism that turned the trial into the greatest show on earth. Books, documentaries like Ezra Edelman's Oscar-winning O.J., Made in America, and the FX miniseries The People v. O.J. Simpson have dissected it endlessly, yet the human cost, Fred Goldman's endless advocacy, the Browns' quiet mourning, often gets overshadowed.